What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at I Love You Man, starring Jason Segel and Paul Rudd. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. This is one of my top 10 favorite comedies, easy. I love this movie. I love this movie when I first saw it in 2009, and I love it now, roughly 12 years later. This movie to me still holds up. It is still a classic, and it's backed by the co-leads of Paul Rudd and Jason Segel, who play Peter Clavin and Sidney Pfeiffer respectively. These two are awesome as a duo. Now they were teased a little. Now their duo chemistry was teased a little bit, knocked up, and forgetting Sarah Marshall. So I Love You Man was them finally having a co-lead all to themselves, and they nailed it out of the park. Paul Rudd as Peter Clavin, who is like this, who is this real estate agent guy who has a deep committed relationship with his girlfriend, played by Rashida Jones, has a problem. They're gonna get married, and he has little to no guy friends. He's always been more of a girlfriend guy, but now he has no guy friends. So this movie is basically about Peter trying to get himself some fucking friends, as he said. And you get a nice montage where he meets a bunch of people that he doesn't really connect with until he has an open house that he's trying to sell the Lou Ferrigno estate. Lou Ferrigno has a nice little subplot in this movie where Clayton is trying to sell his estate, but Lou keeps putting down Peter, and then you have this other character named Tevin who is trying to get some of Peter's listings. That way he can get a cut of the Ferrigno estate when it gets to sell. That's a nice little subplot all to itself that has a really hilarious payoff when Sidney and Ferrigno get into a fight on the Venice Beach boardwalk, which is absolutely hysterical. But I digress. Peter has an open house, and that's where he meets the Sidney character, and that is pretty much where this movie really starts to take off. The chemistry between Jason Segel and Paul Rudd, outstanding. I don't have a negative thing to say. They are so good They're so good bouncing off one another. You got Peter Clavin, who was a guy desperately trying to make friends, and then you have Sidney, who was like this, who was kind of like this honest, fierce, free spirit type of guy, who looks like that once you're his friend, you're gonna have the coolest time ever. And that's what you see. We see these guys bonding, doing a bunch of cool things like playing Rush songs, walking down the Venice Beach boardwalk, doing things that friends would do. And like I said, the chemistry between these two is outstanding. If Siegel and Rudd did not work as a comedic duo, this movie would have failed. This movie would not have been as good as it was. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Rudd and Siegel. Outstanding. Rashida Jones, who plays the fiance of Paul Rudd's character, I thought she was fine in the role as well. I like the fact that I like the fact that she's open to the fact that Peter's trying to get himself a little group of friends. And she tries to help him out a little bit, but more or less, but it doesn't really work out. And yeah, near the end of the movie, they kind of have a brief falling out after some stuff happens, but they make up for it very very quickly. Like if anything, if I were to complain about anything about this movie, the whole falling out between Peter and Zoe would not have done because it's resolved in like 5 minutes. It's just there for drama, and it's unnecessary because you already have enough drama with Peter and Sidney having their falling out after Sidney puts up a bunch of billboards just to try and get Peter's name out there, and then Peter kind of like snaps at Sidney for doing it, and they have a little falling out. What makes this movie even more funnier is the setup. Like the movie has the setup of a romantic comedy, but it's done in a way of a guy trying to make friends with another guy, and then they have a breakup that's very similar to a guy breaking up with his girlfriend. It's hysterical, but it's done totally straight, and that's what makes this movie stand out to me. Uh, I don't have enough positive things to say about I Love You Man. I love this movie so much. You have a good supporting cast. Like I said, you got Lou Ferrigno in this movie. You have Thomas Lennon, who plays a guy that Peter tries to be friends with, but the guy ends up being gay. And they had this nice little bit where where the Thomas Lennon character calls Peter a whore when he sees him with Sydney and they're trying on tuxedos. It's hysterical. And you also have the stuff with Lou Ferrigno that I love. But you also have Adam Sandberg and J.K. Simmons, who play Peter's brother and father respectively, and their bits are hilarious as well. Like I Love You Man, it's got so much funny things in it. It's like I don't want to give so much away. Just watch it. It's worth it. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop the review right here. I Love You Man, of course, gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me. I love this movie. It is absolutely fantastic. It's perfect for me. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for I Love You Man. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.